For centuries, the truth has been buried beneath doctrine, dogma, and Eurocentric paintings. But what if the Bible's wisest king was not just wise, but black? What if his bloodline helped birth the greatest African Christian empire in history? This isn't just folklore. It's written in ancient texts, passed through generations and etched in the DNA of empires. Today we journey through time, scripture, and African tradition to ask, was King Solomon black? Solomon, son of David and Bathsheba, rose to become the third king of the United Monarchy of Israel. He inherited a kingdom at the height of its power and transformed it into a center of commerce, diplomacy, and religious life. He was known for his unmatched wisdom granted by God. He oversaw the construction of the first temple in Jerusalem. He amassed immense wealth and ruled over a united Israel for 40 years. He married hundreds of foreign wives, forging alliances across the known world. But in all this grandeur, Scripture offers little detail about his physical features. Why is there an absence of racial or ethnic description in the text, especially in a time when such identities were often tied to geography, culture, and alliances? Artistic renderings from the Renaissance era present him as a white European monarch, regal, bearded, pale-skinned. But these images were produced thousands of years after Solomon lived, in lands far removed from ancient Israel. To uncover the truth, we must return to the roots, to the soil of his ancestors, the language of his people, and the alliances he forged with African royalty. The Hebrew Bible describes the geopolitical sphere Solomon ruled over, stretching from the Euphrates River to the border of Egypt. This placed him directly in contact with African territories. Trade routes extended deep into Nubia and Cush. Gifts of gold, spices, and rare woods from these regions are detailed in 1 Kings 10, indicating a robust African presence and influence. Solomon's temple construction also involved Tyrian and Phoenician artisans, known for their seafaring connections across North Africa. The cultural exchanges, religious rituals, and materials were not isolated. They were Afro-Semitic in flavor. This interconnection shows us that Solomon's world was a blend of Semitic and African civilizations. Furthermore, the biblical symbolism surrounding blackness often indicated nobility and mystery, not inferiority. Song of Songs 1 verse 5, I am black and beautiful, O daughters of Jerusalem, has often been interpreted allegorically, but its literal reading suggests a normalization, even exaltation, of dark skin in ancient Israelite culture. Bathsheba, Solomon's mother, is introduced in the Bible as the wife of Uriah the Hittite and later, the wife of King David. Her story is well known, but her ancestry remains a mystery. Some scholars propose that Bathsheba's name, Bathsheba meaning daughter of Sheba, is more than symbolic. Sheba was a powerful kingdom, mentioned in both the Bible and historical records. Depending on the source, it is associated with southern Arabia, modern-day Yemen, or with the Horn of Africa, specifically Ethiopia. If Bathsheba's heritage traces back to Sheba, it suggests that Solomon's maternal lineage may have African roots. This would make him biracial by modern terminology, the son of a Hebrew father and a mother descended from African nobility. Other theories suggest that Bathsheba may have had Canaanite or Cushite ancestry, linking her to the ancient Nubian and Sudanese peoples, known for their dark skin and powerful civilizations. The region of Cush, often associated with Ethiopia and Sudan, appears frequently in biblical texts, often in positive, revered terms. In Numbers 12:1, Moses is criticized by his siblings for marrying a Cushite woman. God responds harshly, defending Moses, indicating divine acceptance of interethnic marriages involving African peoples. The implication is profound. The biblical narrative never paints African heritage as inferior. Rather, it often upholds it as noble and spiritual. This suggests that the bloodline of Solomon, through Bathsheba, could very well be interwoven with the African continent. And it would explain why African traditions, particularly Ethiopian Christianity, hold Solomon in such sacred regard? According to the Kebra Nagast, an Ethiopian epic from the 14th century, Solomon fathered a child with the Queen of Sheba, a child who became Menelik I, the founder of Ethiopia's Solomonic dynasty. While some Western scholars dismiss this as legend, Ethiopian Christians uphold it as sacred truth, with unbroken royal lineages tracing their ancestry directly to Solomon and David. This sacred genealogy helped forge Ethiopia's identity as a Christian kingdom independent of European intervention, with a divine heritage rooted in the Bible. It's not just a story, it's a national legacy. Solomon then becomes more than just a Hebrew king. He is a symbol of African royalty, divine wisdom, and cultural fusion. And Bathsheba is not just a background figure in David's court. She may be the vessel through which Africa entered the Davidic line. The story of the Queen of Sheba is one of the most mysterious and powerful narratives in the Bible. Yet it is often misunderstood or dismissed as myth. But in Ethiopia, this queen is not a legend. She is a foundational figure, Makeda, the mother of a nation. 1 Kings 10 describes how the Queen of Sheba heard of Solomon's fame and came with a very great caravan, with camels carrying spices, large quantities of gold and precious stones, to test Solomon with hard questions. Their meeting was not a mere diplomatic gesture. It was a merging of two ancient world powers, Israel and Sheba, both wise, wealthy, and divinely ordained. Makeda was no ordinary queen. She ruled over a vast African kingdom rich in culture, commerce, and religious tradition. Many scholars now place the kingdom of Sheba within the Ethiopian Eritrean highlands and parts of Yemen, territories connected by the Red Sea and a shared Afro-Semitic heritage. Her journey to Jerusalem wasn't just political, it was spiritual. The Ethiopian text Kebra Nagast recounts that she and Solomon shared more than conversation. They shared a union. From that union came a child, Menelik I, who would later return to Jerusalem and, according to Ethiopian tradition, bring the Ark of the Covenant to Ethiopia for safekeeping. This belief has shaped Ethiopian identity for over 1,000 years. Ethiopian emperors claimed direct descent from Solomon. But the Solomonic dynasty ruled until 1974. Ethiopian Christianity developed independently, revering Hebrew figures as part of their spiritual ancestry. Western theology may treat the Queen of Sheba as a footnote, but in African Christianity she is a matriarch. Her story proves that Africa was not a footnote to biblical history, it was central to it. According to the Kebra Nagast, after Menelik I was born, he later visited his father Solomon in Jerusalem. When he returned to Ethiopia, it is said that the Ark of the Covenant, the holiest object in Israelite religion, came with him either with Solomon's blessing or by divine will. To this day, Ethiopian Orthodox Christians believe the Ark resides in the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion in Axum. No one but a single guardian monk is allowed to see it. No archaeological evidence has confirmed this, but the belief itself has endured for millennia. This raises a bold question. Why would African Christians invent such a story and sustain it for centuries if they were not convinced of its truth? The theological implications are staggering. If the Ark is in Ethiopia, it would mean the divine covenant continued through Africa. If the Solomonic dynasty ruled Ethiopia, then African royal power was not only political but sacred. It reframes the narrative. Africa was not converted to Christianity, it inherited it. This isn't a fringe theory. It's a foundational belief for millions of African Christians, a sacred legacy that predates European missions by over 1,000 years. And it strengthens the idea that Solomon's influence, and possibly his physical lineage, spread across the African continent. Recent genetic studies add a new dimension to this ancient story. The Lemba people of southern Africa, particularly in Zimbabwe and South Africa, have long claimed Jewish ancestry. They practice circumcision, avoid pork, and keep kosher-like dietary laws. Their oral traditions say they came from Senna, a place some identify with Yemen or Israel. In 1999, genetic research confirmed that many Lemba men carry the Cohen modal haplotype, a genetic marker associated with the Jewish priestly line. This suggests not only that African Jews existed, but that their ancestry is traceable to ancient Israel. Could they be descendants of Solomon's extended empire? Of migrations from his African alliances? Meanwhile, in Ethiopia, Beta Israel, the Ethiopian Jews, also trace their lineage to the time of Solomon. Their customs reflect ancient Judaism, unaltered by rabbinic tradition or European influence. Though isolated from the rest of the Jewish world, their continuity suggests ancient roots, possibly stemming from Menelik's era. Even the Falasha Mura, who converted to Christianity under duress, have preserved elements of Hebraic culture, pointing to a long-forgotten but undeniable Jewish-African fusion. What does all this mean? It means that Solomon's world, his alliances, his children, and his legacy may be inscribed not just in scripture, but in the blood and culture of African peoples. Throughout history, the image of Solomon has been distorted. From Renaissance art to modern films, he is nearly always portrayed as a white man, a projection of European power onto the sacred narratives of the Bible. But original Christian communities in Africa, like the Ethiopian Church, never adopted this imagery. In Ethiopian manuscripts and murals, Solomon is often shown with brown or black skin. The Queen of Sheba is regal, dark-skinned, crowned in Ethiopian fashion. Christ himself is painted with Ethiopian features, not as a political statement but as theological truth. Why does this matter? Because representation shapes belief. If we envision Solomon, Jesus, and the prophets as white Europeans, we subtly erase the Afro-Asiatic origins of the Bible. We deny the millions of African Christians the right to see themselves in the sacred story. Reclaiming Solomon's African heritage isn't just a cultural correction, it's a spiritual restoration. So, was King Solomon black? Based on the interwoven evidence from scripture, tradition, genetics, and geography, the answer is very likely yes. But this is more than racial identity. It's about restoring a truth long buried under colonialism, Eurocentrism, and religious gatekeeping. It's about showing young Africans and descendants of the diaspora that they were never outsiders to the biblical story. That their ancestors didn't borrow faith from the West. They helped build it. That Solomon's wisdom, Sheba's power, and Ethiopia's ark-bearing faith are all part of a divine African heritage. The story of Solomon is not just history, it is prophecy fulfilled in real time. His African lineage survives in bloodlines, beliefs, and in the black churches singing psalms today. Solomon was not simply wise. He was royal, African, and eternal. The Bible is not a European book. It is a world book, a black book, a living legacy. And the truth, like Solomon's wisdom, still calls out to those willing to listen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Was Solomon black? Does it change how you see your faith, your roots, your story? This is just the beginning. In our next episode, we explore the lost tribes of Israel in Africa.